Welcome into First and 10. Today, we are talking about 10 players who you have to watch for the 2026 NFL Draft. These are some under the radar players. These are guys that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about enough, or they've had some recent games here that get you really excited about what their future looks like. We have a couple players. We've got 10 players total. B-Ross has 5. I have 5. We're going to go ahead and start off here. B-Ross, first of all, how are you doing on this wonderful day?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be in 2026. You know, thank
Of
God we
course.
made it through another year and we're here. But it's time to get talking about some of these dudes that no one's kind of talking about. So I'm ready when you are.
All right, without a doubt. We're going to start off here. Carson Beck. Now, I'm going to start this off before you get started on what you think on him. Behind the scenes, we do a lot of conversating about prospects, players. We have a group chat. We talk about them all the time. Carson Beck is one of these guys that gets brought up quite a bit, and it's usually in a fairly
That he
negative
does.
light. Very
That it
rarely,
is.
very rarely do we speak positive on this guy's name, and for good reason, right? Obviously, a few years ago, would have been the number 1 overall pick, had a bad year in 2024, transfers to Miami. And then this year, he's having a decent bounce back year, but he has flaws to his game that B-Ross will cover. But when we
Yep.
consistently, he's kind of become a meme within First and 10 in terms of we want to love him, but we just don't. So B-Ross, the floor is yours.
Yes.
Carson Beck heading towards potentially a national championship. Go ahead.
I'm going to start by saying this. I owe him a big time apology
Oh,
as a evaluator because he's not as bad as I thought he was at Georgia. But he's not as good as everyone thought he was going to be in terms of being a top 5 talent. Now, with that being said, he can make every throw. He's a pretty good decision maker just in terms of getting the ball out quickly. But where he struggles is with pressure in his face, like a lot of quarterbacks. But he doesn't like to stand tall versus pressure. He likes to do this fadeaway throw that I've seen Jordan Love make, but Jordan gets away with it because he has supreme arm talent and he's a really good decision maker. Carson puts the ball in harm's way a little too much, but he has skills and tools that are developmental for the NFL. I think he needs to go somewhere and sit and really and truthfully, like this next game, and if they make it to the national championship, will tell me a lot more because teams who can get pressure in his face can beat Miami.
yeah.
Like that, like he does not handle pressure well. You know what I mean? So that it was the Louisville game where it really got exposed where he was throwing the ball around like Jay Cutler, careless. Like he didn't care about the ball. Like all he had to do was catch it, and Carson was throwing it to you that night. But when you watch like the full season of tape, he has a strong arm. He can fit the ball into tight windows. When he throws with anticipation, I see why people thought he could be one of the top quarterbacks. Like he had a throw versus Ohio State. It was like a third down. They ran like a curl concept,
Mm-hmm.
but the ball was delivered before the receiver got his head around, like body and head around. Ball was delivered tight window, belly shot, bitch, boom, and was right on him. I'm like, if he did that on a more consistent basis, we would be talking about him going in the first round. But Carson Beck's issue is he does not play with an ounce of consistency. When he does, that offense looks different. Georgia offense last year looked different when he is consistent. The issue is he turns the ball over at a high clip, which is why I've always been just skeptical of him because I grew up watching and I've been in this game watching Aaron Rodgers. That's my tier for quarterback play. And he doesn't turn the ball over. Like that's not his thing. So I look for quarterbacks not to do that. So Carson, again, he can make all the throws. He knows where to go with the ball. He can push the ball downfield when he's not throwing off his back foot. He's not mobile by any means, but he can buy time. He can get 5, 6, 7 yards if he needs to scramble. Like he's a big dude. So if he stood tall in the pocket and just took a hit every now and again and delivered a strike, we'll be having a totally different conversation. But with that being said, we need to put some respect on his name because he knows how to win. He's won at a high clip in college. And when they need him to make the right play, he makes it. It's not always about making, just like the perfect throw. Sometimes it's making the smart play. Sometimes the smart play is taking the check down, getting off the field, getting in manageable third and fourth downs. And he's doing that now at a high clip. So Carson Beck, big shout outs to you, brother.
100%. With Carson, obviously, backup quarterback 2021, 2022, behind Stetson Bennett. Had some great years with Stetson. Then in 2023, he takes over the starting job, puts together a really good year, right? That's the year they had
Yep.
Brock Bowers, they had Ladd McConkey, they had some legitimate weapons on that team. Almost 4,000 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He was a great point guard, right? All of a
That he
sudden,
was.
Bowers leaves, McConkey leaves, 2024 happens. All of a sudden, the completion percentage drops below 65%. The year prior, it was 72.2. 3,466 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, and double the interceptions with 12 compared to 6 the past year. With
Yep.
Miami, the numbers have gone back to a bit more like 2023, kind of in the middle of 23 and 24. This year, best completion percentage of his career, 74%, 3,311 yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 picks. We would be remiss to not talk about how damn good Mark Fletcher has looked for this team. And he's probably the biggest reason why they beat A&M and why they beat Ohio State. Mark Fletcher is that damn
Oh,
good.
100%.
But the best thing that you can say about Carson Beck, the thing that he did that first starting year for Georgia that he's now doing with Miami, he's being a point guard, right? You take away the Louisville
Yep.
game, you take away that horrendous day where he had 4 interceptions, he'd only have 6 on the season, right? Now, he does have some
Right.
inconsistencies. That Louisville game, he was bad. The game versus SMU, he was not good either. But other games, like the Virginia Tech game, like the NC State game, earlier in the season versus Notre Dame, I thought he was pretty good. There is a little bit of inconsistencies. Part of the reason why we are having this conversation on my own personal channel, I ranked him 4th in my quarterback rankings, and I did not think I was going to do so because I have never been a Carson Beck guy. But
Yep.
with the way this quarterback draft class is shaping up, where it's Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, and Fernando Mendoza, and Dante might go back, and Ty Simpson might go back
Simpson might go
too.
back. Yep.
You're looking at a class that is void of talent on day 2, day 3, and I think Carson Beck, if he has another good game this next week versus Ole Miss, we're going to have some fun conversations about where Beck goes. Not a first-round guy. I do not believe he's a first-round guy. But round 2, round 3, I think he's
You
potentially
got to have a
working his way.
conversation.
You have to. I mean, he's got the size. He's got the
You
arm
got to have a
talent.
conversation.
He's the point guard. He won't be a starter in the NFL, at least not right away. But you put him on a team where you can develop.
Okay. Okay. Now, that statement makes me think, where do you think he goes? Or like a team that kind of fits the mold of what, like, that helps them and that helps him as well.
Okay, first team, obviously, that I think every quarterback would love to go to would be Los Angeles, the Rams. He just makes the most sense.
Absolutely.
His play style
True.
there with Puka. I'll give
True.
you another team, though. And this is a team that doesn't need a quarterback, but their quarterback is getting up there in age, and he would be perfect for their system, the Detroit Lions. You want to talk about the ultimate point guard system? Carson Beck is a point guard, and you put him behind what could become a great offensive line with Penei Sewell. They're probably going to address the offensive line in this year's draft. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
You have Sam Laporta. I don't know who the Lions' backup even is, so they need a backup. Jared Goff's in his 30s now. He's been in the league since 2016. I think Carson Beck to Detroit in like round 3 would make a lot of sense. That's kind of where I'm looking at with Carson Beck. Not a first-round guy to me.
They took the kid from Tennessee a couple years ago when he was coming off a knee injury.
He's now on a different team.
Hooker.
He's on a different team now.
So I like Detroit. I like the Rams. I also like Pittsburgh for him. If Aaron comes back one more year and he gets to see how it's done, maybe. Like to me, that's like granted, he's going to have his struggles with that team, but if they improve the roster on the offensive side of the ball,
I'd worry about that offensive line though, especially the tackles.
That's what I'm saying. But with that being said, they have to get better up front.
Their interior offensive line is pretty good though.
It's good.
It's
the
tackles.
Edges.
Yeah,
exactly. So I was thinking Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if I was thinking Miami.
Chargers need a backup,
but they do.
They have Trey Lance, but
it's Trey Lance right now. Yeah, but it's the same issue. If they don't take care of the O-line, he won't be no good there either.
They'll address the O-line. I mean, they have both their tackle spots. They just have to stay healthy. You have Mekhi Becton. You're going to need a guard and a center this offseason. I think they'll address the offensive line heavily.
What about San Fran?
Yeah. That's a great spot. I mean, Kyle Shanahan can make anybody work there. They don't need a quarterback
I'm a firm believer
because
that
they have Brock and they have Mac, but Yeah, it's the right train of
Mac's
thought for
gone.
sure. Yeah, Mac might be a starter next year.
Mac's gone.
Yeah,
Malik Willis is gone in Green Bay. Like both of those
yeah,
guys have earned, you know,
a chance.
opportunities somewhere
Yeah.
else. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but either way, Carson Beck has the tools, has the talent. It's going to be a matter of the right fit for him and his success in the NFL, like it is for 99% of quarterbacks. It's the right fit. You got to have the right fit.
All right. Awesome conversation about Carson Beck. We'll definitely have to, when we do our updated quarterback rankings, we'll get back into Beck and see where he ends up landing on our top 10s. Let's go to move over to the next player. This is my guy. This is Eric McAlister, the TCU wide receiver.
ECU.
TCU's got some dudes. Josh Hoover, I believe, is going to transfer to Indiana, which
Yep.
I love that for him. I think that's a great landing spot for him.
I mean,
Same with
Kurt
Parker
Signetti
Livingston.
just keeps them rolling. Like that's
Parker
crazy.
Livingston's also going over there too. I love that for him as well. Eric McAlister. This is a guy that nobody's talking about. I believe he's a senior, so he will probably be in this class. He's a big dude, 6'3", 205. In high school, he used to run track. He did a 22.71 200, 5'10 in the high jump as a sophomore. So this guy has a bit of a track background to him. He's a physical, high production player for TCU. TCU, by the way, they've gotten a lot of receivers into the NFL these past few years, like a lot of them. And I think Eric is one of these guys that you're looking probably day 2, day 3. In terms of his pros, let me see if I can get his numbers here for you guys. I should have wrote this down. Eric McAlister, in terms of receiving numbers this year, put up some great numbers. He had 1,173 yards, 71 receptions. The previous year with TCU, he had 762, originally from Boise State, where he had some really good years. In 2023, 873 yards. In terms of some of his pros, man, the games where he takes over are fun as hell to watch. That game versus SMU, 254 yards,
man,
3
he
touchdowns.
went off.
They could not tackle this guy. Like, they would give this guy a hitch, a slant, and he would take it 30, 40 yards every single time. They could not get this guy down. And he's done that multiple times this season. Against Colorado, he had 2 touchdowns. Against Kansas State, he had 2 touchdowns. His career long or season long this year is like 82 yards, I believe. 85 yards. And that was against, let me see here, Kansas State. This guy's got some big playability to him. But he's got some limits to his game. So in terms of the pros, I think he's a yak monster. 49 career missed tackles forced. He's good versus man coverage. 4.8 yards per out run against man coverage. He's a deep threat, explosive player. 18.2 yards per catch in 2025. I love the way he goes down the middle of the field. He's not timid to go in the middle. He's not afraid to get some contact, take some hits. And he's got really good productivity. Now, he is a little bit raw in terms of route running. I think there's a lot of times where he could be a bit sharper. He kind of rounds off his routes, and that has led to some potential interception issues. He's got some ball security issues too. He had 3 fumbles this year, and also had 6 drops. Got to clean that up. For a bigger guy at 6'3", his contested catch rate is a little bit lower. Of the 29 attempts he had, he only caught 11 of them, which is a 37% contested catch rate. Obviously, not ideal. I just think there's a lot of technical polish. No, exactly. Yeah. Especially against that level of competition. There's a lot of technical polish and rawness to his game. But this is a heavy sleeper that I haven't seen on a lot of people's big boards. Now, he's not going to be in my top 100. He'll probably be somewhere from the 120 to 170 range for me. But that's a draftable player, right? That's a guy that could be back around 3, more than likely early round 4. And I think that's kind of where he fits. This is a dude that you stash for a year or 2 and see if he can develop into being a third option on your offense, right? You have your number 1. He's not going to be a number 1. You have your number 2. That's kind of your go-to guy. I think in an ideal world, like you look at Amon-Ra your number 1, J-Mo's your number 2. Those are your number 1 and 2. And you're looking for that Isaac Tesla. Isaac Tesla's been perfect for Detroit. I think McAlister could develop into being somebody like that. I just you pop on the film, man. It's a fun watch. If you just want to kind of get an introduction into Eric, watch the game versus SMU. He went nuts, and that game right there was like, okay, this guy can play a little bit because he had a bit of a slower start to the season. First North Carolina, I didn't think he played that great. Versus Abilene Christian, didn't think he played that great. Then he went out there versus SMU, caught 8 passes for 254, and those dudes stood no chance. And I was like, okay. Because I was getting to the point where I was like, all right, I'm just going to turn the film off. I started watching the rest of the season. I was like, this guy's a baller. So Eric McAlister, keep an eye out on him. I don't know, B-Russ, if you had a chance to watch him, but if you did, what's your thoughts on him?
Like the first game I noticed him was the SMU game.
Dog.
Like I heard his name,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, all right, like we got to watch, hundreds of guys across the country. So, you got to do something for me to, make me want to watch you. I wa- I saw the box score. I said, okay, let me just turn on this film. And then I watched the game. I was sitting like, oh my damn. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like SMU had no answers. They tried everything. They tried everything. It was like it did not matter. So no, he's a taller guy, long strider. Um,
Yeah.
he really just has to get stronger at the catch point
Mm-hmm.
because he's going to be a jump ball guy. He has to learn how to win those more consistently. But I'm I like the player. Like when you sent your list, I said, yeah,
Yeah.
this was a good pull. That was a hell of a pull because I was sitting there like, yeah, that SMU game
Oof.
like was dominant.
They couldn't
Like
stop him.
it's
They could not stop him.
they could not stop so like no matter who they put on him, it did not matter.
Nope.
So no, big shout out to Eric McAlister. It'd be interesting to see what he runs too, though. I'm
Yeah.
I'm
He
I'm
might be
I'm
a
very
low
curious to
four
see what
four
he
guy.
runs.
Low 4.4 is what I'm gonna predict. Four
Ooh,
four
over or
four
under
six.
over
Four
or
four
under four
six.
four four. Ooh,
If you're saying over or
I,
under 4.44, I'll go with you. I'll go with the under. Why not?
really?
I think he's gonna be at the Senior Bowl, so we'll get
Is
a good
this
look
it?
at him.
You know what? He probably is.
I mean, it
Should
makes
be.
sense. Oh no, he didn't get an
He should be.
invitation. Damn.
Is he going East West then?
I don't think so. Wow, that's shocking. This guy got some like national honors. We'll see. Maybe they'll give him a late invite. But that's Eric McAlister. Let's go to move over to your next guy,
We
Justin
got next.
Joly, tight end at a NC State. This is a pretty solid tight end class that's kind of forming up here.
It
Now that
is.
Jack Andrews officially is in this year's draft class, there's about I don't know about 8 or 9 guys in this class that I could see going round 4 and that includes Justin Joly. I'll let you kick it off with him. Having a good year. Not as good as last year though, but still a good year.
No, no. So to your point, this is a really good tight end class. So he tends to get lost in the shuffle of guys because there are some guys who are better than him. Then there are a handful of guys who are, right in the mix of where he is in terms of like where they rank in the group. But I like him because his ball skills, he plays basketball on the football field.
Uh-huh.
It's if that ball goes up, he's boxing out and he's just getting bigger. And the crazy thing is, he's not an overly big dude. He's about 6'3", 250 pounds. Not like he's this 6'6" monster, former wing guy playing, tight end. No, he like for a tight end for all purposes, he's really not that big. But he knows how to play big at the catch point. Um, where you need to see him get better is in the run game. But that's with like 90% of tight ends in today's football. They like guys don't they're not blocking the way like the NFL is going to need them. And he came in at probably like 215. He's probably at 250 now. So he's going to keep getting bigger and stronger. And he will gain more functional strength to block bigger bodies because he's going to have to block like real DNs, your Miles Garrett, your TJ Watts, your Michael Parsons, things like that. But with that being said, he knows how to separate. He knows how to win at the catch point. They use him in a variety of different ways. So
Yeah.
he
Even in the
has
slot.
yeah, like he's flexed out. He's in line. He's the move guy. They send him behind the line of scrimmage, like just a bunch of different things. So his route tree is pretty diverse. He's not just a seam guy or a stick and nod guy or a stick and out guy or option guy. He can run routes. Like he's a solid route runner. I think he's not overly strong as a runner, but he's elusive. Like he knows how to make guys miss and just get chunk yards after the catch. So Justin Joly is a name that you won't hear probably till day 3, but you're going to get him on your team, and he's going to be a pretty good football player because he knows how to play the game. And at the least, he's not soft.
No.
I don't like tight ends that are soft. He's not soft. He just sometimes he plays high, he plays kind of out of control in the run game, and then in the pass game, he can telegraph routes a little bit because he plays high,
Mhm.
but all of that is correctable. As long as he's not soft, which he is not, we're good. He's to me, I think he has a ton of upside. He has a ton of upside to be probably like a really good tight end too. Um, and just the overall reliable pass catching option.
My favorite play of Justin Joly's maybe entire career, that play versus Pitt where he gets an explosive play, he pulls a hammy mid run and just limps
That
into
was
the end
like
zone.
game day 98. Well,
That
you
was
weren't alive
great.
then,
No, I
but
was not
like
alive.
it was game day 98. Guys used to pull a hamstring and keep running.
Yes.
That's what that was like. I
That
remember that play. I remember saying, I'm like, you know what? That's my kind of guy.
Yep.
That is my kind of guy.
He kind of reminds me a little bit of Jatavion Sanders. I think Jatavion was a lot better. But he kind of reminds me a little bit of him because Jatavion was
I
also a
can
bit
see that.
undersized and he also wasn't a great blocker either. So I think
Yep.
there's some similarities to their game.
I can see that for sure.
In terms of like how you're going to use him though, like you're going to put him out wide and it's a slot. You're not going to really, if you're going to put him out there on the field,
He's
it's going
going
to
to
be
be
more on pass situations.
yeah. I can see him possibly being like some team's fullback.
Yeah.
Like they,
A
you know what I
weapon,
mean?
use
Just
him
yeah,
anyways.
like
Okay.
just put them all over, move them, and make the defense, say, okay, we're treating him as this or that, and match the personnel to it. And he can be a problem versus safeties and linebackers,
I
given the
think
right space.
I think the one thing that is going to hurt his stock is that Michael Trigg and Eli Stowers kind of do
Like,
what he does, but just
yep.
better, and they're a little bit bigger. That's going to hurt his stock because I think Stowers and Trigg might end up being day 2 picks. I don't know if Jolie
I,
gets into day 2 range.
I see, and that's where I differ. Like Trey, I get. I don't
Hmm,
like Stowers.
really?
I don't think he can catch.
Hmm. How many drops do you have?
I don't know. I just question his ability to catch in traffic or when he has to move his body. Or like I don't know if he trusts his hands because he jumps when he catches the ball. The last time I saw that was Quentin Johnson coming out of TCU. I'm
Hmm,
like, guys catch, they don't jump. But they jump because they don't want to drop it. So they put all their body in front of the ball.
interesting.
But
I like Stowers a little bit. I haven't seen his film. I've only watched 2 of his games. That was a Texas game and Auburn game, and he went
yeah,
nuclear in both those games. So maybe I'm a little biased.
touche. I watched was it Bama? I think I watched the Bama game and
Yeah, he was bad in Bama.
yeah, see, that was the first game I watched. Then I watched Texas. Then I watched maybe Missouri, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Justin Joly, y'all.
Justin Joly. Let's move over to my next player. Oh
Who you got
man,
next?
Josiah Trotter. So, bit of a
That's your
background
guy.
here on Josiah Trotter. We did our linebacker rankings a few weeks ago at this point, and Josiah, I think,
Yep.
was at my 7 or 8 or something along those lines. And B-Russ didn't even have him on his list because we both thought
I did not.
he's going to go back to college. And I'll say this, he probably should have. He probably should have, but I'm just happy we could talk about this guy more. Josiah Trotter is a stud, man. He is
Facts.
one of
He's a
my
baller.
he's one of my favorite players to watch in this class. And if I'm going to put a name on a my guy type of person, this is my guy. I think Josiah Trotter is an absolute superstar in the making. Obviously, Trotter, son of Jeremiah Trotter Sr., brother of Jeremiah Trotter, who was on Philadelphia. I don't know if he's still there, but was drafted by Philly. 6'2",
Hmm.
237. He looks a little short to me on film, but linebacker is a position where you can get away with being a little shorter. Nakobe Dean is like 5'10", and he's one of the better linebackers out there. So him being 6'2" doesn't really bother me too much. This is a powerhouse for linebacker. He gets downhill with authority. There is reps out there. I think he did it. I don't know if it was a Texas A&M game. I can't quite remember. He comes downhill, and it wasn't even a play where he made a tackle. He puts his hand on this tackle
Oh,
or guard, and he
when
puts him on his ass.
that was Texas A&M.
This guy,
That was
man,
folded him, made him melt like ice cream on a hot summer's
made
day.
him melt like butter. This
Oh my
guy
god, I
is
remember that.
nasty in run defense. He gets downhill so quickly and is elusive, flexible. He plays with a physicality that's incredible. He's so violent. He's a good tackler too. I'll see if I can get the numbers here on his missed tackle percentage, but I feel like he doesn't miss hardly anything. He is a bit raw in coverage, so that's the major drawback to his game. I think he could be good in coverage though. Like it's not something that I'm overly
Yeah,
concerned about. There are some players. He has a 10% missed tackle rate. He's only missed 9 tackles all season long. It's pretty good.
I think that.
Sonny Styles is a little bit better, but there's a reason why Sonny might be a first round pick. He also has some pass rushing juice too as a blitzer. I'm not sure you're going to put him off the edge, but in terms of getting after the quarterback, he's got 3 sacks this year, 8 hurries on the quarterback. He also kind of became the leader of that Missouri defense as a sophomore. Came in to West Virginia,
Freshman
played
sophomore.
great
Yep.
for West Virginia, struggled in coverage there as well. And I watched him in his true sophomore season, or I guess it would have been his redshirt freshman season. You can see
Yeah.
the youth in coverage, and you can still kind of see the youth in coverage a little bit. I don't think he's lost out there, though. That's the thing that gives me the most hope about him. There are times where he's just a step late, or maybe he's a little bit overly aggressive, things of
Yeah.
that nature. He will get better in that world. But man, you want a dude that's going to come downhill, set the tone, put hands on people, and be a leader. I want the Dallas Cowboys to get this guy so badly. I need them to get this guy. Unfortunately, they don't have a day 2 pick. That's the big dilemma. I don't
Which
think
is
he makes it
crazy.
around 4, which is just so sad. I love this guy. He is an absolute monster. He could probably benefit from, I don't know if he necessarily needs to add more weight, but getting a little bit stronger in the lower body, because there are times where he gets on the ground a little too much. But man, stocky dude that is physical and tough. Can't get much better than this guy.
He's going to go day 2. Watch.
He will. He definitely will.
Because he plays with heavy hands. He's strong at the point of attack, and like the pass coverage stuff, I think that can be taught because that's more so recognition and kind of like understanding where all your pieces are. He's played in 2 different systems. You know what
Yes.
I mean? So it's more so like, okay, I know I have help here and here. I can take my chance here. So like once he kind of learned the nuances of whatever defense he goes to, I think he's going to be really good. And like I remember that play where Texas A&M,
Mm-hmm.
I saw that live. Like
Yes.
I was watching the game, and I'm rooting against Texas A&M, of course. And I'm like, and like it was just a normal play. It was just kind of just like, whatever. I just see a number 40 just melts this lineman, and I had to stop everything. I'm like, damn what they're talking about.
Hit
Go
the
back.
reverse button. I
Like,
gotta see that again.
go back.
Yep.
But then like when you watch the tape, you see those heavy hands consistently. So yeah, bro. That's a good pull because he has so much upside and he's
Yeah.
young.
He is young.
He's really young. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's 6'2". He probably come to the combine at 240
Mm-hmm.
plus.
Yep.
He's going to run well. He's going to test well. He's going to interview well. He has the right mindset. He's a good leader. Like he checks so many boxes. I have a hard time believing he doesn't go before day 3 or like early day 3
Yeah.
at the
So
latest.
I'm building out my big board. I'm building out my rankings and things like that. Right now, he would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my 8th ranked or my 7th ranked linebacker. The conversation between Deontay Lawson,
Mm.
Jake Golden, and Josiah Trotter is tough. I could put
Ooh.
them in any
See,
order. Right now, I have Trotter as the 3rd of the 3, but I feel like by the time we get to the
see,
combine, he's going to be my 5th ranked linebacker. I think he will be.
I would have it. I'll have Lawson 3rd.
Really? You like
I,
Lawson a lot.
I do,
I
but
like
like,
Lawson a lot too. But you know what, though? I do have Arvell Reese listed in my linebackers. He's going to be an edge. So I probably need to
he's
change
not a
that.
linebacker to me.
He's not.
Right.
He's not. So I probably need to change. So he's actually my 6th ranked linebacker, my 6th ranked true off ball linebacker. Obviously, Sonny
Right.
Styles. I love Anthony Hill. I think he's
Anthony Hill,
a
CJ
bit more
Allen.
balanced. CJ Allen's so good downhill. Deontay Lawson is. I've watched his film a little bit recently. He is, first of all, he looks incredible. The dude is in ridiculous shape. He moves. He's fast. He's athletic. He gets downhill well. Good in coverage. Yeah, he's a good
Yep.
player. He's good.
No,
We
that's
got
a
to do a
pull
Deontay Lawson conversation at some point. Let's go ahead and talk about your next
that we
player.
do.
Before we get to that, there was a comment from RIP Kobe Lakers. Rest in peace to Kobe. Did Ole Miss
Kobe.
quarterback land himself in the first, second round after last night? Don't mean to spoil anything, but we'll get to
We'll
get to
talk
that a
about
little
that.
bit later. Yeah, we'll get to that. Before we do that, though, we do have to talk about Hezekiah Masses, who I watched his film last night, and Hezekiah Masses is inside my top 100. So I'll let you start this one off. He's a he's a good player. I like this guy.
My guy. So listen, I love his tape. Like his tape is so good at corner because I think he does everything well, but he plays press better than some of the guys I have above him. I just don't think he's the athlete that they are. But when you're talking about being able to play at the line of scrimmage, play with his hands, like he's really good. He goes two hands, one hand, and none. Like it's a technical term that corner coaches uses that, you know, when you press, you're gonna start with two, get to one, and then go to none and run and match routes. He does that at a very high level. He has great ball skills. He's very instinctive. Like he has very little holes in his game. Like where I see the flaw in his game is that he's not strong in his lower body, so he can get pushed around
Yep.
at like the top of routes. But when you're talking about just being able to cover, I mean, it's really not that many guys just purely better than him. He can play zone, he can play man, but to me, it's his ability to play press and then react back down towards the ball versus curls, comebacks. He has a pick on a dig route.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. It's hard to pick off a dig route. It's very hard because like the timing of the route, it usually hits before the corner even realizes that the dig is even happening. But he went to the spot, picked it off. I forgot versus who, but Hezekiah Masses from the University of Cal started at FIU. He's about 6'1", 185 pounds, good enough size. He will grow as he grow into his grown man body. He'll probably end up around between 188 to 195, somewhere in there, just naturally. But a talented player. He has feet, hips, hands. Like I don't overcomplicate corner because I've seen so many. I played against guys. I played with guys. Don't overcomplicate. This dude is supremely talented, and nobody's talking about him. Um, I I had to reach out to some guys who I think are better evaluators than me and say, "Have you seen his tape?" Because I don't want to come off as crazy when I say this dude is a top 100 player in the country. Because I think he is. I really think he's a top 100 player in the nation, and nobody's talking about it. Like he's productive. It's all hell. And like I honestly, I don't think there is anything he can't do at the corner position physically.
Yeah.
Might not be as fast as some other guys, but you talk about being able to cover. Like to me, Philly, if you have a day two,
Oh, he is a Philly
day
guy.
three pick, you go to Philly. Oh my God, with Quinion and Cooper and Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown, that's a good young secondary to me. That's like Legion of Boom type status. Mine is Cam Chancellor. No one has Cam Chancellor nowadays.
No.
But you talk about just three guys who can cover, that would be a really good fit for him. I love his tape. Like
Yeah.
you talk about my guy, this is my guy. This is my guy. Right, wrong, indifferent. Hezekiah Masses, that's my guy.
Yeah, Hezekiah Masses. He is so he's ranked 88th for me. I have a couple other players that I'm like heavily considering putting behind him. Guys like Manny Muhammad, Julian Neal, Chandler Rivers. I have Dalen Everett, sorry, just a few spots in front of him. Masses probably will be in front of him. Although Everett's going to tear up the combine. I'm not sure if Masses will. He is sticky as hell in man coverage. I mean, you can't get off this guy. This guy is just smothering people. He is a little bit lighter at 185. I don't know if he's a burner necessarily. Those are some of his bigger cons. One thing I do want to point out about his numbers, they do say he gave up 4 touchdowns this year. I do think we have to put some context to it. 2 of them were in the bowl game. And again, you always have to kind of understand that sometimes you give up a touchdown, you put the blame on Masses, but you don't really know if it was actually his fault, right? Sometimes you're running zone and maybe it looks like you gave up the touchdown, but it might have been some dude that didn't have the, a certain a zone, covered up. So, but he had 5 interceptions this year. I don't know if he had any pick sixes. I can't see that, but yeah, this guy.
This year, no.
Yeah, but he did have 5 interceptions this year for a really solid Cal football team that has a pretty bright future. Yeah, I like this guy. This is, I want to say he's my guy because I'll let you have him. But in terms of like size and stature, Yeah. And I like Chris Johnson, and Chris Johnson kind of is a similar build in a lot of ways. He's not
Build,
as
yeah,
he's not as long and
100%.
lengthy as Masses, but in
Yep,
terms of being a little undersized, not the greatest athlete, like that's kind of the same person in some ways. Chris Johnson, by the way, ranked as my
very
fourth
true.
corner in my top 31. That is a my guy right there.
That's
Okay,
that's definitely your guy.
let's now talk about my next player, and
Who you
it's
got?
going to be a really fun player. Let me see. Talking about, and I'm going to absolutely butcher his name. I need to learn it before we get to the draft. By the way, I'm not sure he's going to be in this class. He hasn't announced yet. I think he has one more year. Boubacar
Oh,
Traore,
there you
I
go.
think is how you pronounce his name. Having a productive year. Had some injuries early in his career. Now fully again at Notre Dame. 6'4", about 250, 245 ish. This is a draft class with a lot of these sort of, I don't want to say undersized, but 6'3", 6'4", less than 250 with a lot of juice off the edge. And that's kind of what you're getting with Traore, right? He gets off the line of scrimmage quickly. He's a high
Very
upside
much so.
developmental player with good length, great flexibility. I wish I had his arm length. I'm sure I can find his arm length. But he's got good bend for the position, an explosive first step, high motor. He's got some versatility to play as a 4-3 end and a 3-4 outside linebacker. He does have a limited start, though. Or, sorry, he does have limited starts, but he does lead Notre Dame in sacks with 6.5. I'll pull up the PFF numbers here so I can give you
Oh,
guys the exact numbers PFF wise. 79.4 overall grade with a 74.9 pass rushing grade. Let me see if I can get you the exact number they have for his sacks. PFF has him down for this year because sometimes they change it. PFF has him down for 10 sacks. ESPN does him down for 6.5. You know, who you give sacks to is kind of the thing. Now, in terms of his cons, this is really his only full year being mostly healthy. He's dealt with injuries
yep.
a lot throughout his career. He could definitely benefit from getting a bit more functional strength. His hand usage is very much raw. And there's just a very limited sample size. This is one of those players you draft for the upside, man. Again, he doesn't have to go pro, and I would suggest to him to go back for one more year because
You
there's a
should go
lot
back.
of players like him.
Yep.
But if he does go pro, and again, we'll probably find this out within the week or two, I think he is somebody you take day 3, stash him for a year or two, see if he can stay healthy, see if that bend, that size, that athleticism could be a part of a rotation. And he has a chance to be really good, though. Really good. I hope he goes back to college, though. That is my one kind of caveat because I think next year he could take a big step forward with Notre Dame if he has another year of
Yeah.
full health. But yeah, I like this guy, man. Again, this is a draft class with um, a lot of these sort of
Undersized
undersized.
DPR.
Yes, and he's just another one of
Yeah.
these guys. By the way, I don't know if you've seen Yanze Pierre from Alabama.
Hmm.
He's got it. He's got the
Yeah. Oh,
goods.
listen.
He's
Hey,
got it.
hey.
I
We gotta talk
considered
about
him
that
here
later.
too. I know I
Yes.
considered him
Yes.
here. I
Yes.
didn't. I didn't put him on this list. He's got it. Same with Akeem Mesidor. If Mesidor wasn't 77 years old, he would be a lock
Listen.
for day 2. But he is ancient. That is the only con with him. But yeah, I mean, you're talking David Bailey, Joshua Josephs, Cassius Howell, Romeo Height, R. Mason Thomas, Derek
That's just
Moore,
deep.
Traore, Clev Lubin. A lot of these guys are kind of undersized players, but man, they got some juice off the edge. And
Maybe play.
if you're looking for a pass rusher, this is a pretty good draft class to find that guy. I don't know if you've seen Traore's film. What are your thoughts on it if you have? And if not, we'll move over to your next player.
No, I mean, to your point, got to got to see like 2 games of him. Like to your point, he's much like a lot of this draft class, just in terms of being undersized, but being quick, being explosive. Like he knows how to win.
Yeah, he does.
I give him that, but he lacks like the length and functional strength that you want down in and down out. But he does have a place. It's just again, it'll be fit. Like, what team does he fit on where you get the value for your pick and for how he plays? Like, just what does that look like? Because I don't think he's a 3 down starter. But I do think he can help your football team if
Yep.
you lack a pass rush. Like if you don't create pressure with 4, this is the guy you put in on 3rd down and say go. You just go. You go get the quarterback. So I'd be interested to see like or hear what do you think who do you think are like teams that kind of fit are good fits for him?
We keep hearing a lot about Baltimore potentially drafting a David Bailey, and we all kind of are under the sentiment of
I don't see
you
it.
just took Mike Evans, right? Or not Mike Evans. You just took Mike
Like
Green.
Green,
Yeah.
Green. Yep.
If you're looking for a budget, David Bailey, a budget Cassius Howell. Actually, I think this guy's
Fair.
got longer arms than Cassius Howell. Um, I'm gonna see his arm length. I like Baltimore a lot. Dallas Cowboys, they need somebody with who can get off the edge and run a little bit. He's got. I just saw the number. He has his arm length is pretty solid. He's got 80-inch
What is it?
wingspan, 80 inches.
So he's probably at like 32 and some change.
Yeah, 32 and some change per arm. So he's got a good arm
Yeah.
length. I mean, compare that to Cassius Howell, who's got what 30s.
You gotta be 30. You gotta
Yeah,
be.
he's a little bit bigger arm length wise. But yeah, I like Dallas. I like Baltimore. I like Miami. Depending on what happens
Ooh,
with some of the younger guys they have and who they're going to keep and who they're not going to keep. I like Cleveland as well. Pair somebody with Myles Garrett. They don't really have somebody consistent opposite of him. Somebody like that, again, more
fair.
of a day 3 option, but a budget option for what you're looking
Yeah.
for. So that's what I like about him. All
Good
right, let's
pick.
uh
That's good pick.
let's
Good
go and talk
pick.
about your next player here. Antonio Williams, Clemson receiver who's dealt with some injuries during his career, but came into the year with a lot of hype, has a lot of upside. What's your thoughts on Antonio?
Yeah, like it was the preseason hype, but that was the entire Clemson roster. And
It was.
every draft eligible player for Clemson this year did not perform up to par. Every single one. None of them did.
Nope.
From the quarterback to the 2D lineman to Antonio Williams to Terrell, nobody played up to their standard, which is why the team looked the way they did this year. But that being said,
I wish he would have transferred this year instead of going to the draft.
me too. Me too.
I don't know
Go
how
to
he did.
Texas. Go play with Arch, bro. Arch is real. Yeah, but that's a whole nother conversation that we can have because we told y'all, but never mind. Um, so Antonio Williams, he's twitched up, he's quick, he's quicker than fast, but he is a really good route runner who knows how to separate. He's not like this great athlete who, who's going to run, 4.3. Like he might run 4.4. I don't even know if he's going to do that. But the football stuff, that's real. Like he's a really good football player and he has value as a punt returner. So when I was watching, I'm sitting there like, okay, I see what everyone saw, and I see kind of what he is. He kind of reminds me of Jaden Reed from Green
Hmm.
Bay.
Yeah,
Just
I can see that. Yeah.
twitched up, has some speed to him. He can get behind guys, but he's going to do it within the first 10 to 12 yards within the route, and then he's going to accelerate and go. But that's who he kind of remind me of just in terms of play style and just his ability to like win at the top of routes. Um, where where I really love him though is as a punt returner. Like again, like he has extra value there. Like so now you get two for the price of one. He's a really good punt returner. He's decisive. He's fearless, and he's shifty. He's like he has some jukes in him. Not they're not Bijan Robinson jukes, but he got some jukes in him. Like he knows how to make the first guy miss or the first two guys miss and get vertical with the ball in his hand. So Antonio Williams, like everyone preseason, they were hyping him up to be one of the, in that top 5, top 7 spot in terms of receiver. And truthfully, depending on what your team needs, he might fall into that category because talent wise, he has all of that. Just the production wasn't as good as it was last year. But again, that's because of everything that was going on with that team. But he's a hell of a football player. Like, I don't care what his numbers say, his numbers won't reflect how good he's going to be. That's the kind of like spring I see for him. He's going to have good practices and all-star games and all that stuff, but when we come to the testing stuff, it'll be fair. It'll be just okay, and people will be like, "Oh, I don't know." Turn on the tape. Just turn on the tape because the tape tells me guys are going to have a hard time covering him because he can beat press. He's a really good route runner. Like he just has to get stronger. He has to get stronger in his lower body as a blocker because he's going to play in the slot. In the slot, you have to block. So, you know, those are things again that are correctable and coachable, and that things that he can improve on. But the athlete and the football player, sign me up. Antonio Williams, he's going to be a really good football player. I'll take him early day 3.
Yeah, he's going to be a slot exclusive guy. With Clemson, 971 snaps out of
Yep.
the slot, just 264 out wide. This year, they basically converted him to being full time in slot. He only
Mm-hmm.
played 19 snaps out wide, so you got to be okay with that. But man, he's a smart player, good solid hands. Last year had 8 drops. This year just down to 1 drop, so he cleaned that up quite a bit. Used his body well. Very smart player, knows how to find spots in zone. Good hands catcher, doesn't catch with his body. Really good nuanced route runner, things like that. Like, he is the total package. You just have to be okay with the fact that he doesn't have a ton of versatility. He's not the fastest guy in the world, and he's going to deal with some injuries, right? If you can get past that, I mean,
Sure.
you're talking about a day 2, early day 3 guy. There's a lot of good wideouts this year. Some guys that are a bit more traitsy, have more have more, I don't know, variance to their games, things like that. But man, I think
Yeah.
Antonio Williams, he's a good player. He's somebody that doesn't get talked about a lot either, because a lot of the conversation earlier in the season, like coming into the year, was, man, Antonio Williams might be a top round 1
Mm-hmm.
guy. And then this year it's like, oh, we're talking round 4 now. I'm like, I think he could be a round 3 guy and be a really good player for a team, especially a team that might need a slot. So good player. We've talked about him in the past, but not to a full extent. When we do our
Yeah.
receiver rankings, I'm sure we'll talk about him yet again. All right, let's move over now to my next player. I got one more after this. We're talking about Monroe Freeling, the offensive tackle for the Georgia Bulldogs. Monroe's a good
Mm,
player. He had a pretty rough
yeah.
day. He had to give up a sack. This is a developmental stash player. Let me see if I can get the numbers for you guys here. Uh, Last game versus Ole Miss, he did give up a sack. He did have a 65.0 pass blocking grade, though. I think that's his biggest strength, is as a pass blocker. He's a
Yeah.
good pass blocker. Used to be in high school a dual sport athlete. Used to play basketball. Would dunk the ball all the time. I watched some of his highlights in basketball. He was a pretty fun player, albeit he's. I'm glad he played football instead of basketball. But he feels like he's an improving prospect, somebody that could work his way into being a day 2 pick. Probably will end up being a top 100 player for me, as it will be for a lot of players. I do think
Yeah.
he is a tackle. I don't know if I'd necessarily kick him inside to play guard. I just don't think he's strong enough
Long enough to
to
do it.
handle
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
That all said, he's got a good frame, good length, good size to him. 34-inch arms, 84-inch wingspan. He's 6'7", 315 pounds. That's like really ideal size and length to him. He's a really solid athlete, moves around very well. He's got versatility to play both left and right tackle, has the experience to play both. I think he's a strong run blocker, but I wouldn't necessarily say he's a good run blocker, at least not yet. And I think he's a very smart player, too. He picks up on stunts very well, and he's played in a lot of big-time games. In terms of some of his cons, he has a tendency to overset. He'll overextend in pass protection. He gets beat a lot in inside counters and being knocked off balance. Um, while he's big, I think he could benefit from adding a bit more strength to his lower half. He needs to
Yeah.
learn to anchor down a little bit more. He plays a little bit upright, and his hand placement can be all over the place at times. But again, it's not a great tackle class. It's just not. There's some good offensive
No.
guards. There's some good centers in this class, but tackle is a bit weaker, especially if Trevor Gooseby returns, which it sounds like he will. Right now, with the way the tackle board is setting up, you're looking at, I'm talking true tackles. You're talking Spencer Fano, Caleb Lomu, Carter Smith, maybe, Blake Miller, and Monroe Freeling. Everyone else is a guard, right? Francis is probably a guard. He could play tackle, but he's probably a guard. Proctor's probably a guard. Saravil's probably a guard. Dunker's a guard. Caleb Tiernan's a guard. Austin Barber's a tackle. Jude Borey's a tackle. Max Anacor's a
Yeah.
tackle. You're talking Freeling probably being in those conversations. But yeah, if you're looking for a tackle on day 2, that I think could start early and be really good in pass protection, but probably leave a little bit to be desired as a run blocker early, I think Monroe Freeling is a pretty good player to, maybe start off as a stash, let him sit for a year and develop. But if you need him to play right away, I think he can give you some quality reps.
Yeah. No. You hit him right on the head. I don't think he can play guard just because I don't know if he's strong enough, like consistently strong enough to handle pressure down the middle. But he's a intriguing prospect as a tackle because this pass pro stuff, like he has some flashes of some really good stuff.
100%. All right, let's talk about your next player, and we're going to talk about the
My
quarterback,
God.
Trinidad Chambliss. Now, really quickly, we're going to answer this question. Did Ole Miss quarterback land himself in the first or second round after what he did to them Georgia Bulldogs? Did some crazy stuff. First or second
He
round?
did.
First or
He
second
did.
round? What are we talking? Say yes. Come on, man. Kyler Murray 2.0. Come on, you know it.
So, okay. Two-part answer. For some teams, he's in the first round conversation.
Really?
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Because he's going to interview well. He's a dual sport guy. Like, he's a dual threat guy. Like, he checks a lot of boxes. For other teams, he's just too short. Like, regardless of the talent, like the only short quarterback who's having like, consistent success or shorter quarterbacks is Brock Purdy and Baker. I'll throw in that because Baker's not a tall guy. Baker and Trinidad Chambliss are probably relatively like the same size, probably like somewhere around the same size. But so I would say for like a third of the teams, he's a first, second round guy. Then the other 66%, I would say no.
Teams that actually need a quarterback.
They are not. They wouldn't know. Even on their board, he won't be that high. But that being said, I watched this dude. I probably watched like 5 or 6 games, and I was just I was sitting here at my desk like, what am I missing? Why isn't he getting more love? And then I'm like, all right, he's short. I get it. I don't like short quarterbacks. I like playing against them. I wouldn't build my team around one, because history tells me it doesn't work. But with that being said, he can make every throw. He's a good athlete. He's smart with the ball. He doesn't put the ball in harm's way. He's a quick decision maker, not just a good decision maker. He's quick to make a decision, even if it might be all for wrong. You can live with it because he made it quickly and in a timely manner. Like he does a good job of not holding the ball, and like that's something that has to be learned or like got to be trained to do that because it's tough because every quarterback thinks that they can make every play. They can extend the play. They can beat this D lineman. Even if he can, he doesn't necessarily always take that chance, which I always appreciate that because you're putting the team first to me. But Trinidad Chambliss, like he can push the ball downfield. He throws a nice seam ball. He can layer the ball. He can put the ball in the tight windows. He can throw with anticipation. Not always as much as I would like, but he has shown flashes of being able to do it. I still think he needs time to sit because, like, you're talking about a guy who hasn't taken a snap under center really. Like that's going to change in NFL, right, wrong, and different. He's going to have to take snaps from under center. He's going to have to learn that whole process and just, how to manage the game in that facet. I think he does a good job of, calling out blitzes and changing protections and getting guys in the right play within their system. Like I watched him and Carson Beck on the same day before the playoff games. That messed me up, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just waited till after the playoff games because I watched them before, and I'm like, I'll take Trinidad over Carson, even with like a 3-inch, 4-inch height difference. I'm like, give me Trinidad because he can buy time, he can make plays with his legs, and he likes to run, but he's not a running quarterback. Like he breaks the pocket to throw the ball downfield.
And he can
But
move.
then I watched the playoff game and like Carson managed the game just at a very high level to me. Then Trinidad came and I'm just like, okay, he won the game.
Yeah.
Like damn managing. Like they were down 9 going into the half, and he was like, I got it. And just like the plays he was making, they were timely. So I'm like, I was a huge fan after his first game when Fair State kid, and like I'm a big Fair State guy because I used to go there as a scout my first couple of years. they have pretty good facilities for a Division II program, but it was their offense. Like the offense they ran was, it's very creative, and he managed that well. And again, smart decisions. He's played a lot of big time games. Not that you've seen them all, but he's won big games. So this phase for him, you can tell is not this is nothing. This is just, I don't care who's on the other side. I've played in national championships. I played in big games. You see it. Like, I love that about him. And you saw that his first start when they pulled the Simmons kid and played him.
Yeah.
I I know people at Ole Miss who said, they were like, just watch. And I said, all right, I'm gonna watch him. And sure enough, I'm like, oh yeah, he's like, he was made for it, he was built for it. And you see it because he's very poised and calm. I love quarterbacks who are very even killed throughout the game. Good, bad, high, low. They just always right here. He's like that every part of the game. Like, he's never too high, never too low. And you see it in his play, and his teammates feed off of that. I don't think it's a throw he can't make. He can fit the ball into some tight windows. Again, his height does come into play because he does have some batted balls, deflected passes that may not happen if he was 6'3" or 6'4". But I think that's just the nature of the quarterback position in 2025. Like, quarterbacks are going to be on the shorter side, where I think the average is going to go down to about 6'2.5". Right now, it's like the average quarterback size is like 6'3.5", 6'4". I think it's going to go down because guys are getting shorter and they're just more of a dual threat, compact built quarterbacks. But Trinidad Chambliss is a baller. I'm interested to see him play versus Miami in that front, to see
Yes.
how they
Yes.
how they kind of handle him, because he doesn't run a lot, but he's more than capable of being a running threat. So I'm curious to see that chess match, because if they let him out the pocket, if he gets out, he becomes an even more dangerous threat because he can push the ball downfield with the best of them. So Trinidad Chambliss, one of my favorites to watch, because he's explosive, he's dynamic, and he's a smart, intelligent football player.
In a quarterback class that is very frustrating, with a lot of guys regressing, not playing well, having
Hmm.
tools, having traits, but not putting it all together, Trinidad is a very good, like, fresh breath of air, because we
Yeah.
didn't even know this guy
Nope.
before he took a snap. It was like, oh, who's this Chambliss kid? He's short, can move a little bit. Is he gonna be a running guy? No, this guy is a baller. That's what he
It
is.
was-
That's the best way to describe him, is a baller. Some of the things he did versus Georgia were just unbelievable, right? And you're not lying. He is cool, calm, collected at every single moment. There's not a throw on the field he can't make. He is a little undersized, so working down the middle of the
yeah.
field is going to be difficult. It's the same thing with Kyler. It's the same thing with Russell Wilson throughout a lot of his young career, even
Yep.
especially in his later portion of his career. Um, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young. It's hard to work over the middle of the field because you have these 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" offensive tackles, guards in front of you. It's gonna be hard, right? Especially when you're 6 foot. Trinidad might be 5'11". We'll see, but he's a baller.
Oh,
You let this guy extend plays. You get him out of the pocket. He's going to make a throw down the field with elite accuracy. I think he plays with
yeah.
decent anticipation. He takes well the
Yep.
football very well. Only 3 interceptions this whole season. Played well versus bad competition. Played great versus good competition. It did not matter. Um, he's solid. He's great on third down. My only issue with him is the fact that, number one, I think Ole Miss system is it's a good one, but some of the same concerns I had about Jackson Dart follow Trinidad a little bit. A lot
Yeah.
of times it's predetermined reads. It's one read. You're not really going through progressions consistently. I think Trinidad's a bit better than what Jackson was, especially in Jackson's first and second year with Ole Miss. I thought Jackson in his last year would get through reads decently well, but still he would have a couple plays where it's one read. Sometimes you'll see Jackson throw it into triple coverage downfield. You don't see that with Trinidad. Trinidad is really good at taking care of the football. He's an elite athlete. He just doesn't show it all the time. He will make guys miss in a phone booth. He's
Good call.
jukes, things like that. He just doesn't use it a ton because he's always keeping his eyes downfield to look to make these big explosive plays down there.
Yeah.
I think he's better deep than he is short and intermediate. I think intermediate he's fine. He can make every throw. There are times where his accuracy can be a little all over the place in that department. Is
He makes the
Trinidad
guys work on the ball like a little too much in the short area.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with like the screens and the RPO stuff, like he's trying to get that out quick, but
Yeah.
he'll put it low or high, and guys
Yeah.
have to
Work
reach
for it.
like just and like as a evaluator, that was one of the things I hated seeing because in the NFL, that window is closing so much faster. So if the guys have to work and reach and now they lose a step, that's now opposed to being a 7-yard game, it's a 2 or 3.
Yep. And again, do I think Trinidad's a first round pick? Probably not. Second round pick? Probably not. Third, fourth?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now, so the deadline for these guys to submit, if they're in the playoff, is January 23rd. If Ty Simpson and Dante Moore go back to school,
Oh man.
do you
Uh
think he comes out?
he
Because
should. He should.
that's what I'm thinking. Because if those two go back, damn that appeal come out. If
Yes.
they stay in the draft, I still think he should come out.
Yeah, because in theory, next year's class is going to be pretty dang
It's gonna
good.
be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year though,
Because
it's Fernando, Dante, maybe Ty Simpson, but he might go back. So, but then there's that huge void of the top three guys and the fourth guy, right? I said
right.
Carson Beck, who's not even in my top 100, is the fourth guy. If Chambliss goes out there and balls versus Ruben Bain Jr., Mesidor, Keontae
Mesidor,
Scott, that physical ass defense, those interior defensive boys, yeah, we'll have some conversations about Trinidad. I hope that Dante goes pro, although I think he could benefit from one more year in college. Same with Simpson, but for this class, I hope they do go pro because you wait one more year. If Arch is in next year's class, he's gonna be good, right?
Arch,
Raiola, Lagway, Julian Sand. There's some dudes. Sellers.
like
The kid that was at Arizona State now is transferring. By the way, did you hear that?
He's transferring to
Kentucky.
Or yeah,
that's silly.
Why?
That's dumb. And the Kentucky guy's going to Arizona State. Yeah,
yes,
that baffled me.
Listen, I saw that. I said, wait a minute. I said that is bad business. I don't know who is helping. That is bad business. Because if anything, you go to Oklahoma State. Go with the quarterback guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
did Kentucky get a new head coach?
Yeah.
Who?
I believe so, right?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. If they did, maybe it's his guy. Like, that's the only reason why it would make sense. But yeah, Sam Leavitt going to Kentucky, if that actually happons, I saw that. I was like, why not stay at Arizona State? The only thing I could think of is Arizona State kicked him out.
I get why he went. Because it's Will Stein.
That's his guy. Yeah.
That's the OC from Oregon.
Yeah. That's a good hire for them, actually.
Okay. Yeah. No. I actually get that now. Yeah.
All right. No. Trinidad Chambliss, potential first-round pick. We'll have that conversation in the future. Let's talk about my last player, LJ Martin. 6'2", 225. He's a big dude. He is a physical downhill runner. Played basketball in high school. Also competed in track and field as a freshman. 12'11", 100, 25, 26, 200, 5'2" high jump, 7'2", 17-0 long jump, 37, 10.5 triple jump. 2021 in high school, he was the 5A Division II overall MVP as a junior, Class 5A first team All-State. 2020, I believe that would have been his senior year, maybe his junior year. Yeah. No, sorry, 2020 was a sophomore year. I apologize. First team All-District selection at running back as a sophomore, ran for 897 yards in just 5 games. This guy's nasty. All right, pros for him: elite frame, good size. He has the prototypical bell cow build to him. 225. He is big. He's physical. He can handle a full workload if you really need him to. He can add more muscle if you need him to, although I think he's pretty yoked right now. Really good contact balance. Takes on hits really well. He's very patient, has good vision. He gives you a plus as a receiver this year, 35 receptions for 255 receiving yards. He gives you some work in the passing game. He is one of the best pass protectors in this class, and you can see it that he's been at BYU for a few years. He's a junior or senior. and his
Yep.
pass protection is really technically sound. In a class that doesn't have a ton of technically sound um, blockers, he is one of them, right? You look at Jeremiah Love, Jonah Coleman, Jadarian Price, Emmett Johnson, Mike Washington, him. I would say LJ is probably the best pass protector. Now, some of his
No doubt.
cons, he doesn't have home run speed. He can
Nope.
break some big plays, but he's not gonna outrun athletic corners. He runs a little bit too high. I wish he would get a little bit lower, put the pads down a tad bit more. Um, he's dealt with some injuries in the past. He's got a lot of work on his shoulders, so I worry about his long-term durability. He doesn't have the greatest twitch in the world. He's not an ankle breaker. He's not somebody that's gonna make a guy miss in space, stuff like that. What he
Right.
is, like David Montgomery, like that's what he kind of is. A bruisier
Mm.
style, a change of pace guy. You have your Jahmyr Gibbs. You ideally have that. Actually, you know what? Maybe a better comp would be like a Tyler Algier, to be honest with you.
What
Um,
about Roshan Johnson?
I think he's I think he's a bit better as a running back than Roshan, but yeah, kind of in that same mold. I think
Yeah.
Roshan was a quarterback, transitioned to running back, and
True.
it took him a few years to really get a role for himself. But yeah, this is your Kyle Monungai to DeAndre Swift, your David Montgomery to Jahmyr Gibbs, your Tyler Algier to Bijan. Every
Yeah.
team is kind of looking to find that bruisier style guy and then pair up the bruisier guy with a freaky athlete that can make guys miss, be a receiving threat, things like that. LJ is the next evolution, in my opinion, right? He's the next guy up. And there's a couple in this class too, by the way. Jonah Coleman, bruisier style guy, get downhill. Mike
Yep.
Washington. Unfortunately, Darius Taylor went back to Minnesota, so that stinks because he is another one of those guys that fits the mold.
How much they
Um,
paid him? They had to pay him a lot to come back.
Well, Minnesota was wise to keep him on their team. He's a good football player. I wish he would
That
have
he
came
is.
out though. He would have got drafted, but and then he puts more work on his shoulders. I don't know. Would have just went pro if I was him. Maybe he would have been.
Especially at running back.
Yeah. My only thing is like next year's class at running back looks to be pretty good. So maybe he was like, maybe I could sort of be the change of pace guy in 2027. But yeah, LJ is he is the guy that's gonna fight you in a phone booth, right? He's the guy that's gonna put you on the dirt. That's what you're gonna like out of LJ. I like the
True.
fact that he is going to be a second option in the NFL, right? I can't think of a team that would really use him.
Minnesota Vikings after they draft Jeremiah Love.
Yeah,
Just get
get to him. I think
go ahead.
Pittsburgh makes some sense because they have
Pittsburgh makes sense.
they have
Yeah.
Warren and they have
Kenneth Gainwell.
yeah, Kenneth Gainwell. They could really
Yep.
benefit with because they had Najee, but then Najee went to LA. I think that
Right.
he would be kind of similar
Go
to
get some
him.
size. Yeah.
Arizona, if they get off James Conner, they could
Yeah.
really use that sort of guy. LJ
That's
kind of
what
plays like James.
that's what he kind of reminds me of. Like he's not as good as James Conner was coming out, but just their style and
Mhm.
what they have to be at the next level, he has to be a James Conner type of back to
And
me.
Connor's been in the league for several years. He's in his 30s now, and has been very productive throughout his career. So if you can have a James Conner like career, yeah,
Take it.
I would take
Take
that
it.
one. So LJ Martin, I think, is a round 3 to 4. I think more round 4 type of guy. But he will
Yeah.
play in the league. He will get a lot of snaps in this league, which if you can find in round 4, you'd absolutely take. So that is LJ Martin. B-Ross, anything else you want to bring
Question
up?
for you. I
Yes.
have a question for you. And I asked everybody watching, how many backs go in the top 100?
Oof.
How many backs go?
I'm going to go with 5. No,
What?
you know what? Actually, I might go with 6. I'll go with 6
I was gonna set the line at like 4.5. So
because Jeremiah Loves to me is a top 10 pick. Jonah Coleman
okay.
will be a early, late day 2, no, middle of day 2 pick. I think
Okay.
Jadarian Price is awesome. I think he's a day 2 pick. I
It's
I
3.
think I think ooh, top one. Oh, so that's okay. You know, I'm going
Top
back down to
100.
5. I'm going to 5.
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
I think Emmett Johnson makes it. And
From Nebraska?
yeah, Emmett Johnson I think can make it. And then I think one of the Penn State guys will. Even though I don't like them personally.
Fair.
I think Singleton and Katron, one of them will make it because they have a trait to them. I like Katron a little bit more than Nick. That's kind of
Singleton.
flipped.
Yeah.
I think I think one of those two will go. Maybe both, because they have a quality to them, a trait to them that teams would like. Right? Singleton, that receiving ability, the breakaway speed, Katron, bruiser style, slower, very slow, but he can move well. He's really refined back in comparison to Nick. I think one or both of them could end up being top 100 picks. So if you're putting the line at 4.5, I'm taking the over.
Oh, that's interesting. And the only reason I say that is because I truly believe it depends on if if that 100 pick falls in the third round or the fourth round.
I think
Because
it's a fourth, right? Or does it change year in year out?
Because it changes year in and year out
Yeah.
because of the comp picks.
Yeah. Last year it was a fourth, I believe. I think it was the first pick in round 4, actually, because I think Dylan Gabriel was 99, if I'm correct.
Could have been.
So it's interesting though. This is not a good running back class. It's really not.
No. So I don't think it's bad. It's just flavor. And like backs get no love. Backs and safeties are the same guy.
Yeah.
They're like the good guy to girls, like, oh, he's just my friend. That's how they treat backs and safeties. Oh, friend zone. They friend zone the hell out of backs and safeties until they realize that this dude's really, really good. Then it's like, oh, we love you. Too late.
Too late.
I love somebody else. That's how they treat backs and safeties. So that's why I'm curious to see like how many go like in top 100, because a bunch will go late just because teams don't.
Yeah. There'll be a run in day 3. There'll be a run in day 3.
Yeah, it'll be a run of backs and like tight ends, edge guys. It'll be a big run of guys, right? But I'm curious to see how many go in the top 100.
The problem with this class is when you're looking through the list of running backs that have been productive this year, a ton of them are freshmen and sophomores. And so it's just like, damn, they can't go in this year's class. Like Keywan Lacey, freaking stud. He ain't gonna be in this one.
So nice. He's so good.
Bo Jackson from Ohio State. And in this
Jackson,
class. Ahmad Hardy, Isaac Brown, the dude from North Texas. Like there's some good backs that are now in the transfer portal, and I'm excited to see where a lot of these players go. But I just wish that some of them
from an NC State, because I think he should come over to the
Smothers. You talking about Hollywood? Well, I think Isaac Brown's gonna be a horn. That's what the rumors are saying. Louisville.
I'll take it.
Yeah, use the speed. All right, guys. Those are the 10 players we want to talk about. B-Russ, do you have any other play you want to bring up or any other topic you want to just quickly discuss before we hop on out of here?
Any other topic? Oh, who do you have win the national championship?
Oh,
we're in the Final Four.
This is an awesome Final Four.
Bro, this is so good.
No Ohio State, no Georgia, no Alabama. We got Miami, Ole Miss.
Who else?
Oregon,
Miami,
Indiana.
Ole Miss, Indiana, and Oregon.
It's right now, I would favor Indiana, but I think Miami has something going over there. They have a system on offense that revolves around Mark Fletcher and his physicality, and then you have Ruben Bain, and you have Hakeem Mesidor, and you have I just watched this tape. Who is the interior defensive lineman? They Ahmad Moten. They got some physical dude, and Keontae Scott is a stud.
Bro, he's so good.
But on the flip side, Indiana's got some dudes too.
Out of Cali. They did so okay. That being said, that Indiana Oregon game, if it's close, Oregon wins.
Really? See, I think Indiana blows them out.
I don't, because I think Oregon has like real studs and they're a well-coached football team. I think Bama had studs, but coaching wise, like, so there was one point in the game, and like I should have tweeted it. Granted, I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter because I'm barely on there. But if you watch that game, Bama could not set an edge to save. You remember the Texas-Florida game?
Oh yeah. I can't forget it.
Just like that. That's exactly what it looked like. Where I'm sitting there like, bro, set the edge. Like, come down. Whether the safety, linebacker, nobody was setting the edge. So the Hoosiers are like gashing them for 7-8 yards a pop on first down. You get 7-8 yards on first down, you got 3 downs to play with now. You got 3 downs essentially to get 2 or 3 yards. Like that's not sustainable. Oregon played really good defense versus Texas Tech. Hence why they shut them out. And granted, Texas Tech isn't an offensive juggernaut, but they weren't shut out bad. Right. So that's why I think if it's close, I think Oregon beats Indiana. The only way Indiana beats them is if it's like, they're up 17, 20 points early and then they just keep floating. But
and Oregon has a number of dudes on that defensive line. Bear Alexander, Amari Washington, Mateo, Tatum. They got some dudes that can set the edge too. See, I just think they got something special.
It'll be a good rematch though, because remember,
we saw already once
Indiana beat them early. Yeah. But I also think Dante Moore is better than what he was at that point.
Yeah, in the early in the season,
because
like week 4 or 5.
Yeah, watching Indiana game versus Oregon for Mendoza, like everyone knows they're like heavy RPO, but he was struggling to even complete those because Oregon can cover, like they can just flat out cover guys. So it'll be interesting to see. And then in Miami,
that freshman Brandon Finney, Oregon,
bro,
and him and Dylan Dianaman, nasty.
I'm just saying they've already played, and I'm a big Dan Lanning guy. Yeah. Like I am. Like I'm a huge Dan Lanning guy. So like my bias says Oregon wins outright, but my head says Indiana's playing way too good for that shit. And I don't like betting against Cignetti at this point. Because I haven't, and I've been right ever since. But like, so it'll be a good game, or it should be a good game. But again, if it's close, I think Oregon wins.
So who you picking though? You gotta pick one.
Oh, I'm picking Ole Miss and Oregon.
Wow. See, I'm going the exact opposite. I'm going Miami and Indiana, and I think Miami wins.
I'm going Ole Miss and Oregon. And the reason I'm going with Ole Miss because I don't think Miami has seen a dude at quarterback like Trinidad.
They have not. Well, you say that, but okay, they're different players. Marcel Reed and him are very different.
Yeah,
but in terms of like their ability to extend plays, yeah, no, he's
like they have similar play styles.
Yeah,
but like
he's not the passer.
No, and I don't think people realize how fast Ole Miss actually plays. Like they play with some tempo. So that D line, like to me, like the plan is going to be to run the ball, spread them out, run the ball, and keep 4 and 3 off the field by speeding them up, or keep them on the field. But they're so tired that because they ran, 3 plays in less than a minute, things like that. And like I'm going with quarterback play. Which quarterback do I think shows up?
I think the physicality of Ole Miss, or no, physicality in Miami with that physical offensive line, with their physical edge rushers. I think that's going to give them a ton of problems.
I don't disagree because I watched the Georgia game. I'm like, Georgia is fucking pounding the ball just right down their throat. But I think Pete Golden is a good coordinator. I think he will adjust because if they stop Mark Fletcher, to me, that has to be the plan.
Yeah,
put the game in Carson Beck's hand.
Yeah, plan A, plan B. Stop the run game.
Yeah, stop the run. Stop the run and make Carson Beck beat me. If he beats me with Tony and Daniels, I can live with that, honestly. But I can't give Mark Fletcher 17 carries. He goes for 150 and 1 touchdown, and I think I have a chance.
Chat's all saying Ole Miss.
Appreciate it, chat.
They're saying Ole Miss, so
appreciate it, baby.
I think it's Indiana, Miami. I think Miami wins. But if they could slow down Mark Fletcher and they force Carson Beck to beat you, that's where it gets a bit dicey. Because that's where it's like, by the way, we missed out on Carson versus the Georgia, which would have been sweet. Georgia. But I'm actually kind of happy because I much rather see that storyline. Yeah.
But and I also think Ole Miss is playing for so much more. right now.
Yeah, they have a chip on their shoulder.
They
Their coach
are
left
like,
them.
what? Like in the heat of battle, they were like, oh, he was like, yeah, 90 million, I'm out.
And he has the audacity to tweet, "Good win, Ole Miss." Come on, man. Read the room. Come on, man.
Bro, shut up. He was at the game. Why are you there? Go home. Enjoy your money. That's what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Don't come back. Like, I would feel some type of way too, 100%. But yeah, I'm going with Ole Miss and Oregon. I think the O's take it.
All right.
I don't, again, it's hard to beat a team twice. That's why
Yeah.
Georgia can beat Ole Miss
Ole
twice.
Miss. That is true.
Can Indiana beat Oregon twice?
Which team had the bye? Indiana had a bye, and neither
Shit
minor.
out.
So we'll see.
Indiana's the first team to win having a bye. They're the only team to win.
They got to stop the bias. It's a cheat code right now.
Oh, it's stupid.
They got a lot of things in college they got to fix though. A lot. Well, that's one of them.
You can have the bye. It's the bye after the first round of playoffs because
I know. And the first round's already like a week and a half, 2 weeks as it is. So you're sitting for like basically a month almost of no football.
Bro, sitting there. That's crazy. They have to change that scheduling.
Yeah.
Have to.
They got to change. Transfer portal.
That's it for me.
NIL.
Oh, one free transfer a year. I'm going to say it now. Everybody in college sports, they should get one free transfer. Regardless. Oh, they lied. This doesn't matter. You get one free one. After that, you should have to sit out.
I agree.
It should go normal rules because there's no reason for a guy to be in school for 4 years, transfer 4 times or 3 times. One, you're not getting a degree. It's no way you're getting a degree. So now that negates the whole college and the amateur. I get free school. All that's negated now because you transfer so many times, and all classes don't transfer over. Yeah. So now you're behind. So now when you're done playing, because more than likely you're not going to make it. That's just what probability tells you. Now you're stuck with no degree and no job, and you built no relationships. Why? Because you kept transferring. The whole point of school is to build relationships and get connected with people who are like-minded, people who are different, people who are going to be running stuff when you're older, but you know what? They love the football team, so they're going to look out for you. You built those connections through that. But now guys are leaving so soon. It's like, what the hell? What you scared of competition? One free transfer, and they should have a salary cap.
And I think they have a salary cap.
It should be official, bro. Yeah. $2 million salary cap. 2.
I think it should be 10. No.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll go 10. Because
10?
Okay, how many guys are making?
Okay. 10 for Power 5 or
10
all
for
college football?
10 for Power 5. And it should be like the NFL. You can't go over this number. You have to be below this number, and you can't. But at the same time, you can't restructure deals. You can't get all that BS out of here. You got to be under 10 million. Yeah,
exactly. But see, that's the issue with the portal. Because to me, if you transfer, I should get those funds back.
Yeah,
that's my issue. Money. Yeah, because if I'm a booster and I give $1 million a year, and my deal goes to this guy, and he's there for a year, then he leaves. But we saw minimum production. Like, what? This was a 2-year deal, and he just took. No.
All right, we'll have to do a video in the summer how to fix college football if they don't fix it already. But we'll get to that at some point. You guys, let us know in the comment section below. Is there a prospect we missed in this video that you guys want us to talk about in the next one? We'll do another live stream next week where if you guys let us know a prospect, we might be able to get to that player sometime this week, next week, or the week after. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. Want to say thank you guys so much.
Oh,
New Year's, it's 2026. We got big goals this year, a lot planned. So if you're new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And per usual, we appreciate you guys. B. Ross, get us out of here.
Hey, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. First to 10 podcast. We are here, baby. Thanks for 1K subscribers. Peace out.